Hey guys, so in this video, this is going to be a high-end versus drugstore video. This is where I compare the two, tell you is it worth spending more money on, say, foundations or eyeshadows, or is it just as well, at the drugstore. So this is going to include foundations, mascaras, eyeshadows, highlighters, blushes. I'm not going to include eyeliners or contours just because they're kind of optional, not everyone contours. Well, I'm not investing in contour enough to make a non-biased sort of opinion on it when it comes to contours. And then when it comes to eyeliner, I won't show you any bit, but personally I think you're just better off spending it at the drugstore anyway, but I thought I just wouldn't include them anyway. So first off, I'm going to go a little bit backwards. Like, you should start off with foundations, but I'm going to start off with what's closer to me at the minute. And I'm going to be talking to you, first off, is blushes. So these are my favourite. So what I've done is picked out my favourite drugstore blushes and then my favourite high-end blushes. So, on to blushes. So these are my favourite drugstore blushes. So this is the Makeup Revolution at London blush palette. This is Sugar Inspired. It does contain two highlighters in it anyway. I then have the collection Speedy Blush in the shade 01. I then have the L'Oreal Blush Sculpt in the shade Nude Beige. I then have three of the Bonjour's Paris Cream blushes. I don't think you can only get these on Amazon now, but I thought I'd include them anyway because they are my favourite. The Rimmel London Stay Blushed liquid blush in the shade Pop of Pink, and then the BH Cosmetics Illuminate by Ashley Tisdale, and these are the cream cheek and lip tints, but I do use them as a blush only. That's why they're in this category. I've never used them as a cheek tint. So it is that. And then my high ends, I have this is the Tom Ford Sheer Cheek Duo, should I say. I learned how to speak cinnamon. And this does contain a highlighter as well. If I can open it. Open please, open please. Is it not going to open for me? So that's that. Now I wasn't sure whether to I've got another company I didn't know where to include. This is Kiko. I didn't know whether to include them in drugstore or not. Technically you can't get them at the drugstore anyway. You can only buy them in their individual stores. So I classed it, but it's like, do I class it as high-end? And I'm going to class it as high-end because it's not exactly what you call cheap makeup. I mean, they do deals and stuff, but I'm classing it as high-end anyway. And these are the Metal Fusion blushes. So I have the shade 06, which is that, 05, and then 03. I'll open there. So when it comes to blushes, I feel, obviously when like the drugstore start hitting, hit the scenes and stuff, and around YouTube days when I first started watching YouTube videos, there were more obviously blushes in the high end than there were at the drugstore. But now blushes at drugstore are expanding, all their makeup's expanding anyway. I find that there's good enough quality at the drugstore, but not enough unique shades. So if you want like unique shades and stuff like that, even though that Tom Ford isn't really a unique shade, but whatever, if you want unique sort of shades when it comes to blushes, you'll see it more so in the high end than you will do in the drugstore. So but it's one of those things where you don't need to spend more on high-end blushes unless you are looking for a unique colour compared to drugstore. There's plenty of drugstore blushes that are really good quality, especially as the Makeup Revolution are really good at that. So yeah, so for that I'll say drugstore wins. Next category is foundation. You see how I'm just mixing up? I could have just gone to highlights, but no. Now we're on to blushes. No blushes. What the hell? Just foundations. So first I'll show you my high-end foundations, my favourites. So I have this one. This is the NARS, what's it called again? All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This is in the shade Cadiz. I believe that's how you say it. I'm probably saying it completely wrong. I then have the Fenty Beauty foundation in the shade 330. I then have the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea in the shade Deep Honey. I then have the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer in the shade Beige. Now for my drugstore. So I have the Rimmel London Wake Me Up foundation. This is in the shade Natural Beige. I then have this one, they've reformulated it now. I'm not tried the new formulation, but this is the Rimmel London Lasting Finish 25-hour foundation in the shade Natural Beige. This is the Bonjour's Paris City Radiance foundation in the shade Golden. I have no idea, it's rubbed off. It's golden something anyway. And then I have the L'Oreal Paris Cushion foundation in the shade, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea. But there's that. So when it comes to foundations, my opinion is a bit different. So before you start makeup and everything, I'd reach for drugstore, and then my first high-end foundation, funny enough, was the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation, and I loved it. Like, you get something totally different. Like, don't get me wrong, drugstore foundations are really nice. Like, you can get some good full, you know, coverage foundations at the drugstore, but what I found with high-end, it's just amazing. Like, they proper filter your skin. Like, they look amazing. Like, even like the light coverage foundations, just you make your skin look really, really good. So for me, when it comes to foundations, I would say that it is worth investing more money on foundations. I mean, if you're somebody who has like perfect skin anyway, you might want to, you know, just pick up a cheap drugstore. But for me, I find that high-end, you can't beat high-end foundations. So for foundations, it is high-end. So at the minute, it's 1-0. So next is highlighters. So with this one, I'll show you my high-end collection and my drugstore collection. So I have the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter duo, and this is in Ginger Binge and Moscow Mule. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well done, Cinnamon, for digging your nail into it. That actually, it wasn't even my nail that digged into it, it's my thumb, but whatever. So there's that. I then have the, again from the Fenty Beauty, these are the highlighter sticks or matchsticks. I have it in Blonde and Yacht Life. And then this is going to be a little bit awkward, just a little. And this is a Jeffree Star Skin Frost in Uranus. Yeah, this is the collab he did with Manny MUA. That's why I said it's a little bit awkward. I'm not even following him anymore on YouTube because just, yeah, that's, you know the whole drama if you're following any of these people or Jeffree Star. But yeah, and then the other Jeffree Star highlight I have in the same shade Deep Freeze. This one I had to repress because that happened at work, just an accident. I didn't even really clean it up. It was on the floor for not years, but quite a few weeks before someone decided to clean it. Anyway, I'm going off topic. Drugstore collection, I have the Sleek highlighting palette in Cleopatra's Kiss. And then the Kiko, actually, I said I was going to put Kiko in high-end, didn't I, idiot? Well, this is another high-end highlight. This is Kiko Radiant Touch Creamy Stick in the shade 100. So, when it comes to highlighter, because I love highlighter, and when it comes to highlighter, I love unique colours. The problem I find with the drugstore is it's the same sort of colours, and it's like, I already have that in that shade. I've already got that in that shade. So I'm more drawn, as you can tell, and I have more favourites when it comes to drugstore highlighters than I do to, drugstore highlighters. I do to high-end highlighters than I do for drugstore. Now, the Jeffree Star highlighters, the quality of them, you cannot beat. They last all day. They are the beast of highlighters. Honestly, if you've not tried the Skin Frost, you need to try Skin Frost. They are a beast. They stay on for life. Some of the drugstore highlighters is like hit and miss. Some of them they last all day, some of them they don't. So for me, I would say spend your money. I think it's worth getting a really good highlighter because, as I said, a lot of high ends, when you want a highlighter, you want it to, pop. Don't get me wrong, you get drugstore highlighters that do pop, they tend to be the same sort of colours, and you'll find like quite quickly that you'll have like that shade, or you have that shade like with another makeup company or something like that. Whereas where it comes to high end, there's a lot more uniqueity of it, and as I said, I'm not a fan of drugstore highlighter that's beating the quality of a Jeffree Star Skin Frost. So for this battle, high end win. So yep, 2-1 to high end. Next category is mascaras. So I've only got one favourite mascara from the drugstore, and that is the L'Oreal Paris Miss Punky Mascara. And I have 3 for high end. So I have the Tarte Man Eater mascara, the Benefit Ethereal mascara, and the YSL Volume Effect mascara. So this is a funny one, this was. When I first got into makeup, I used to think, why on earth would you spend money on like high-end mascara when there's like loads of them in the drugstore and stuff like that? What I find when it comes to mascaras is when it comes to high-end ones, they tend to offer a lot more. Being that sometimes with drugstore foundations, mascaras, a lot of them can be hit and miss. Like some of them will say they offer volume, but they don't offer that much volume, or they'll offer length, don't offer that much length, or they'll offer both, and it's like, but it's not really like, you get more of the other, it's not really balanced out. Where I found with drugstore mascaras, they just offer a lot more, and they just make my lashes look amazing. Like, I freaking love this one. So, it all depends on like what you're looking for. Like if you want a basic mascara, you don't really care much about mascara, but you want, so your lashes don't blend in with your eyeshadow. You want a basic mascara, you don't really care that much, then the drugstore is perfect. But for me, I want more. Like I want my lashes to be pow. When I want them to be volumized, I want them to be volumized. So for me, I'm more likely and happy to spend a lot more money on high-end mascaras than I am drugstore mascaras, but I am mascara junkie. Like, I love mascaras. So, yeah, don't get me wrong, there is some, good drugstore mascaras, but high-end's just got me hooked. So, high-end win this battle. Right, next category is eyeshadows. So I'm going to start off with my drugstores and then go into my high-end. So for drugstore, this is the L'Oreal Paris Sherry My Cherry eyeshadow palette. I then have, this is the I Heart Makeup Chocolate Rose Gold palette. I then have the Makeup Revolution Flawless palette. I then have the Makeup Revolution Sophie X palette. And then for my high end, I have, now this was hard, again, I wasn't sure whether to put this in high end or low end, but because of the price, I'm going to stick it as high end, and that is NYX. So this is the NYX Color Quad. I then have the Kiko High Pigment Wet and Dry Eyeshadow in the shade 21, the Tarte Man-Eater palette, the Kim or KKW, this is the collab she did with Mario eyeshadow palette, the MAC Mischief Minx palette, and then the Kylie Jenner Take Me on Vacation palette. Now, my struggle has been a lot when it comes to high end. To get to these being my favourite high end has been hard because I've gone through so many duds of eyeshadow palettes that are high end, or single eyeshadows as well that are high end. The issue with me is I have high expectations when it comes to eyeshadows, and if the eyeshadows like perform the same as a drugstore, I just say, wow, I've spent a lot of money. Like, for example, everyone loves the Too Faced chocolate palette. Honestly, I got rid of that. It was like, really? I prefer the quality of well, now it's called, I don't know what it's called now, but you know, the I Heart Makeup, I'm just gonna call it, of the I Heart Makeup palettes. Like, I preferred the quality of the dupe from Revolution or Tom Beauty. I preferred the actual real thing, so that's saying something. That's why I just got rid of it. So for me, when it comes to end, and also the Marc Jacob thing, I'm started on that. I thought I got rid of it. I found it while I was like getting all this video together. So for me, I'm a lot more wary now when it comes to buying high end eyeshadow palettes, and for me, I think there's just enough of them in the drugstore, especially from Tom Beauty. There's loads of them. As you can see, most of them from my favourites were from Tom Beauty, like the Revolution palette. There was only one that wasn't, from Tom Beauty, which is the L'Oreal one. That is my favourite. So personally, I would say it's not worth spending a lot of money on high-end eyeshadow palettes when you can get a lot for your buck when it comes to drugstore, and they are like stepping it up with quality and stuff like that. So for this, drugstore wins this fight. Now we're on to the final category, and that is lip products. So first we'll start off with the drugstore. So I have the Rimmel London Provocalips in the shade, it does not say anywhere. I can't see a shade. Oh, Make Your Move. And then have the Avon lipstick in the shade Lacy Mauve. Then have the Avon Ultra Glaze Wear Lip Gloss in the shade Shimmered. And then have the NYX Cosmic Metals in the shade Comet's Tail and Out of This World. And then have the Sleek Matte Me Metallics. This one in the shade Molten Topaz, and then this one in the shade Rusted Rose. And then have the Tanya Burr lipstick in the shade Sunday Walk. And then have the NARS lipstick in the shade, oh, that's high-end, idiot. Let's just put that aside. And then finally I have the Alice in Wonderland mini lipstick trio, which I did a review on recently. But these are so good, I had to include them. And then onto my high ends. So now we're on to high ends. So I have the NARS lipstick in the shade Roman Holiday. I have quite a few favourites when it comes to Jeffree Star's liquid lipsticks. I could have I'll have a lot more favourites in the Chrome collection, but I only picked two because, yeah. So I have this one in the shade Calabash, Candy Ass, Mermaid Blood, Chrysanthemum, and then Jawbreaker. And have the MAC Frosts. So I have this one which is in On and On, and then this one which is in the shade O. And then I have two of the NARS Pure Matte Lipsticks in the shade Carthage. And then also in the shade Amsterdam. And then I have the Tarte, what's this? It's a lipstick duo. I don't know what it's called. I did get it in a set, but it's a lipstick and a lip gloss, and it's in the shade Kind. So when it comes to lipsticks, it all depends, because I love the quality of the Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks, but I'm more inclined to be just going to the drugstore. The only issue I found with the drugstore, again, when it comes to blushes and highlighters, is they have more colour variety compared to the drugstore. But sometimes you can be paying so much for a high-end lipstick, and it's like, there's nothing amazing about it. A good example of that is the YSL Moisture. I can't remember what they're actually called, but there's really moisturising ones, and it's like 20. So I did buy one because I was a sucker for, like, you know, the colour, and I was like, I just spent 21 quid on a really moisturising lipstick, and for me, I just didn't feel like it was worth the money. Yeah, it was really, really moisturising, but it was like, I still spent a lot of money on a lipstick. So for me, I would say you're better off just not investing in high-end lipsticks, because half the time you're just spending a lot of money. Even if the colour is unique, sometimes you think to yourself, I've just spent that much money on a lipstick, and it's just a lipstick. So for me, when it comes to lipsticks and lip glosses, you're better off just, you know, going, because you can still get a variety at the drugstore, and they are a lot cheaper, and some of them do a lot more than, you know, the high end ones for the price match anyway. So yeah, that is it for this video. So a quick rundown when it comes to foundations, high end. When it comes to blushes, I think I said drugstore. Yeah, drugstore. When it comes to highlighters, high end. Mascaras, high end. Eyeshadows, drugstore. And lipsticks, drugstore. I didn't mention bronzers either, because again, I don't really use bronzer that often. So yeah, that is it for this video. So bye guys.